God, I really didn't want to have to do this, but I'm doing it. I'm doing a Cats movie essay on the movie Cats. Now, I know a lot of you guys have seen many essays and reviews on, oh, Cats is so bad, and yes, I know, we've heard most of it before. But you know what, I'm going to do my own take on it, because hey, I just have nothing else better to do. And I saw Cats, and it was amazing. No, not really. But anyways, the topic of this video and what I'm trying to do is basically describe to you viewers who might be very naive to Broadway and to the movie musical as to what Cats is, why was it so successful back in the 1980s, and why did it flop so hard in 2019. Although, just judging on what you're watching right now, I don't think it's that hard to see why this movie would flop. But anyways, let's get right into the video. Cats premiered in London in 1981 and then eventually made its debut on Broadway in the 80s, 1982 at the Winter Garden, where Beetlejuice is and where School of Rock was. But anyways, the musical received very mixed reviews when it first entered the Broadway scene, and many people didn't know what to make of Cats. Despite this, the show still made $6.2 million in pre-sale tickets, and was able to be one of the most expensive Broadway shows ever at that time, with a production cost of $5.5 million. And anyways, many people are wondering, why did people love Cats so much when it first came out? Well, one was the fact that Memory, which was the big main song, was done by various artists and is what made it popular. Think why Evan Hansen's most popular song is Waving Through a Window. It's a really good song, and it's kind of iconic in a way. The staging, the costumes, the characteristics of how human beings were able to become cats. It entranced people. It had been something that nobody had seen before, and everyone was so enthralled in the imagery and in the staging and how it was, at that time, revolutionary because it seemed very immersive, because in Cats, there's, little cat things and, places where they swing throughout the audience, so it is a very immersive show in that sense. Cats was also very revolutionary in the fact that it established musical theater as a global commodity, where you can have big potential stakes, but even bigger profits, and it led to the Broadway blockbuster, which is shows like SpongeBob, Beetlejuice, and if it weren't for Cats, we probably wouldn't have gotten these big Broadway blockbuster shows that we have now. Cats was also the industry's first lesson in that families and kids want to see Broadway shows in this untapped demographic that they knew nothing about. This also led to the trend of Disney musicals and more smaller shows struggling, while big blockbuster with big brand appeal or have a big name in it thrived. This also led to one of the most famous and iconic posters of Broadway, that being the cat eyes. And Cats was the first musical to not have any pull quotes, not have any big name, but a tagline, now and forever, and influenced many Broadway shows and how they went about marketing and using it as another way to make money. So Cats was a global success. In the 1990s, Steven Spielberg's animation company tried to make an animated film out of Cats, but they simply didn't know how to do it, so everything passed. And then, in December of 2013, Andrew Lloyd Webber himself announced that Universal Pictures had not only acquired the rights for this, but were making a live-action movie, and in 2016, Tom Hooper was announced as the director of the film, and casting was done in that year. I would like to point out that Universal pushed back the Wicked live-action movie for Cats. Let that sink in. It's just another normal day, July 18th, 2019, and then out of nowhere, we get the Cats trailer, and people were, overwhelmingly negative. Many people criticized the CGI and live-action mix-up and said that it was nightmare fuel and that this should be a horror movie, and many parodied it, memed it, and said this movie was going to be absolutely terrible. Personally, I thought it wasn't that bad, but I definitely did not think the look of the film was good at all, but still, I was hopeful that maybe, just maybe, this film would surprise everybody. And then we get to December 2019, and the film absolutely bombs. It got a 21% on Rotten Tomatoes, a C+ on CinemaScore, and like a 50-something audience score on Rotten Tomatoes, and box office-wise, it's gonna be a flop. It's only made $58 million on a $90 million budget, which, factoring in marketing and reshoots maybe, was probably over $100 million. I saw the film, I thought it was fine, but I could understand why it wasn't a film for everybody, as the musical isn't. But anyways, many people said this could be The Greatest Showman or great counter-programming to Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker. However, this did not out to be to turn the case, and in fact, people just didn't want to see this, and yeah, it's been a bad couple weeks for Cats. Movie's been all over the place. There's now dog-friendly screenings, people posting news articles about people that take mushrooms and psychedelic drugs seeing Cats. It's a mess, and this is definitely not what the creatives or Universal wanted. It even got taken off of the Oscars contenders, and it's no longer on that website because they knew how bad of a film this is. Though many say it could be the next Rocky Horror and it could become a cult classic, which I definitely do think could be a potential thing. And then we found out that Tom Hooper, the director, not only finished the film a couple hours before the movie came out, but on the actual day of the premiere. So many of the cast and crew had not even seen a finished product of it. And you've seen the pictures of Judi Dench with her human hand and her wedding ring. I mean, it's a mess of a film. Rebel Wilson eating human-faced cockroaches. It's just a mess. And I think that people just didn't want to see this. It was because of the visual effects, because of the way the cats looked. I swear to God, when I watched this movie, I said, this movie would have been a successful, maybe even a juggernaut, if it was an animated film, maybe done on Netflix, or even if it was released theatrically, that would have been fine too. But still, this film was so much better if it was animated, and this whole CGI thing it made everyone get really disturbed, and nobody wanted to see this. And I mean, the movie itself to many people is very cringeworthy, and it's, got Ian McKellen meowing, and it definitely was the wrong direction. I think Tom Hooper was trying to make a very artsy film when really Cats is not that. It's a fun-filled adventure film that shouldn't take itself too seriously, and what was revolutionary 20 years ago seems pretty stupid today. Even James Corden has distanced himself from the film, and in an interview he said he hadn't even seen the film, but he heard it was pretty bad. I mean, if your actor is saying that about a film he was in, that he hadn't even seen it, that's pretty bad. So overall, I think you understand why Cats wasn't successful as it was today. It really was a product of its time, and it definitely needed to be updated to today's standards, and it simply wasn't. I feel bad that this film didn't do well because I love the movie musicals, but hey, we're getting in the Heights, everybody's talking about Jamie, The Prom, West Side, so this film isn't going to kill the movie musicals, but I definitely do think that it's going to kill Cats and its legacy for a very, very long time. So anyways, I hope you enjoyed the video. Please like, subscribe, and comment. And, I wouldn't even recommend seeing the movie. You know what? No, I would see it. Because you know what? It was a fine film. Just, people gotta stop being over dramatic. And yeah, just bye.